A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Saint Mark. One of the scribes came to Jesus and asked him, "Which is the first of all the commandments?" Jesus replied, "The first is this: Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is Lord alone. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this: You shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than this." The scribe said to him, "Well said, teacher. You are right in saying he is one, and there is no other than he. And to love him with all your heart, with all your understanding, with all your strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself is worth than all burnt offerings and sacrifices." And when Jesus saw that he answered with understanding, he said to him, "You are not far from the kingdom of God." And no one dared to ask him any more questions. The Gospel of the Lord. The love of God and neighbor. Biblical tradition puts much emphasis on the Sinaitic Covenant, also known as the Mosaic Covenant, which refers to the covenant of God with the people of Israel. And the commandments are part of the stipulations of the covenant that are recorded in the Torah, or the 5 books of Moses. Collectively, the rabbis have counted 613 commandments and precepts listed in the Torah, 365 negative and 248 positive commandments. Furthermore, these are summarized in the 10 Commandments or the Decalogue, where the first 3 commandments refer to the worship of God and the last 7 embody the ethical principles guiding human relationships. In the Gospel, Jesus concisely sums them up to 2. First, he quotes the Shema prayer: "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength." Second, he points to the less known commandment in Leviticus: "You shall love your neighbor as yourself." Instead of answering the query of the scribe as to which is the first or the greatest commandment, Jesus combines both love of God and love of neighbor as intrinsically inseparable. The call to prayer starts with the Lord demanding all Israelites to listen, because it is God who summons Israel to a covenant. God, the Supreme One, initiates this special covenant relationship with Israel. "For you are a people sacred to the Lord your God. He has chosen you from all the nations on the face of the earth to be a people peculiarly His own." And as a response to God, the whole nation of Israel should worship Him alone. There should be no other God besides Him. Jesus adds the injunction, "Love your neighbor as yourself," as consequence of loving God. This twofold commandment embodies the real meaning of the covenant. Even the scribe recognizes that it is worth more than all burnt offerings and sacrifices, referring to the temple worship. If the scribe understands the real import of his own word, Jesus promises him that he is not far from the kingdom of God. Today we celebrate Prison Awareness Sunday. We are asked to focus our attention on the plight of our brothers and sisters in prison. Bishop Joel Bailon of the Episcopal Commission on Prison Pastoral Care notes, "Many of our prisons are so congested beyond their normal holding capacity, thereby creating inhuman living conditions. A good number of inmates have been languishing in jails without the benefit of even preliminary hearing and their right to a day in court. Many prisoners are suffering from many forms of skin diseases or getting really sick, but do not have the benefit of medical assistance. And there are many more problems that these incarcerated brothers and sisters of ours are facing inside the prisons."